What's shaking, my friends? My name is Shay. Welcome to another weekly reading vlog. This is strange. My hair is crazy because it's a little after midnight on February the 1st. It just turned the 1st, and I am doing this challenge in my book club this month, and the prompts just dropped at midnight. And so the prompt that I was given was to have handwriting on the cover. So I'm super excited because What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall, that I pulled out of my TBR jar, that I'm super excited to read, has handwriting on the cover. So it looks like that's going to be my first read, which is super exciting because it's one of my most anticipated reads of January and the entire year. So I don't know that I'm going to get any read tonight because I need to go to bed, but I couldn't sleep because I had to know what my prompt was. So now that I know, I can go to bed and I will start reading tomorrow, and I will check in once I get some ways into the book. So I am at 50% into What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. And I am enjoying this book. We are following our main character who, basically when they were kids, she accused somebody of basically doing a very violent attack on her. I think she was stabbed in all of this, and she basically sent him to jail for the rest of his life. And she gets a phone call saying that now he has passed away, and that brings her back to her hometown and back to meeting with the friends that were there with her during the attack. And she's questioning if she put the right man in jail, and some things start to happen. Somebody dies, and we're kind of figuring out what happened in the past and what's happening now, which is a premise that a lot of thrillers these days use, and I like it. I don't have an issue with it. I'm really enjoying the writing. It's a very nice writing style. I've never read Kate Alice Marshall previously, but I am liking this book. Like I said, I'm 50% in. My thoughts are now that I am liking it. I'm liking the characters, and we will see where this goes. I'll check back in probably when I get done. It's still February the 1st, so I think I will finish this book probably tonight, which will mean I have read a book in a day. So go me. So I finished What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. I'm in my bathroom so I'm sorry if I'm echoey, but I really ended up enjoying this. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I did not guess who was doing what, and so I always like when I don't guess the mystery. I really did enjoy this one. I thought, if I was predicting 5 stars, I would have predicted this to be 5 stars. Of course it wasn't, but I still overall enjoyed it, and now I want to read more from Kate Alice Marshall. So I know that usually she will write kind of like YA paranormal things, and this is very much an adult with no paranormal in it, but I'm still interested in what she has done in the past, and I'm very interested in what she is going to do in the future. So then I got the prompt to read a book with multiple editions and multiple different covers. And so I have the special edition somewhere of A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I know that this was not on my TBR for February, but I'm making it on my TBR because it fits the prompt. It's kind of short, and I own it, so I think if I own it and I want to read it, that's a win. And I'm about 25% in. This is following Dracula's first wife and how she was turned by Dracula, and just kind of we're going along in their life and what she thinks about Dracula, and I'm not quite sure what to think as of yet. I think that this is very much a character study. I'm not sure as far as plot-wise where we're gonna go. It's kind of just basically telling the story of her life as a vampire and as Dracula's wife. So I'm interested to see where this goes, and I will update you guys when I am finished. Okay, so it is the 3rd, it's Friday, and I wound up finishing A Dowry of Blood. I'm just laying down because I'm just exhausted after the week I had at work. So I finished A Dowry of Blood. I really enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. It is kind of the study of Dracula's first wife and how she became to be a vampire, and just kind of their life together as they live some centuries together. And we get some more characters, of course, and I just really overall enjoyed it. Was it the best thing I ever read? Absolutely not, but enough to give it 4 stars. And I don't necessarily understand extremely all the hype about it, but I really did enjoy it. So, 4 stars. It was a win. And then I got the prompt, read a book with only writing on the cover. Can't have any designs, can't have anything like that on it. And while there are books I wanted to read, Age of Ice comes to mind. I decided to go with a shorter work because I need to help my team out a little bit in the beginning of the month because I think I'm going to lose some momentum at the end of the month. So I decided to go with Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and this is a nonfiction book. He's writing a letter to his son dealing with being a black man in America. And I'm not going to rate nonfiction. I've decided to not rate my nonfictions, but by the way, this was fantastic. So I would highly recommend. And it's short. It's like 150 something pages. And I highly recommend the audiobook because he narrates that himself. So I really liked that. And I don't know what I'm going to read next. It's Friday. So I think that I'm just going to chill out for the rest of the night because it's kind of late and pick back up reading tomorrow, Saturday. And I'll let you guys know what I am going to read when I get into it. Okay, so I didn't update you the entire time I was booked because I was so immersed in it. And that's going to be the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. 100% favorite. 5 stars. This reminded me a lot of House in the Cerulean Sea. So this is following our main character who is a witch, and she has a YouTube channel where she kind of pretends to be a witch, but she's actually a witch. And so she gets summoned to this house to try to convince her to teach these children who don't really have a mother and don't really have a witch in their lives how to be the witches that they're supposed to be. So that's kind of why it reminds me of House in the Cerulean Sea, because she's kind of teaching these children, and the adults in the story are so cute, and there's a romance, of course. So it's a little bit more romance heavy than House in the Cerulean Sea, but I really enjoyed this because the characters just were so delightful. And yeah, 5 stars, easy 5 stars. I read it in a day. It was such a good book and highly recommend. I don't know what I'm going to read next. I am still thinking about it. I have to read a book that has multiple POVs, which there's a ton of books that fit that specific prompt. And now I'm just kind of like figuring out which one I want to read. I read Secret Society of Irregular Witches for a book rec on TikTok, so if you wanted to know what I read that for. Alright guys, I will check in whenever I figure out what I want to read and check in on that book. Okay, so it's Tuesday, and so a week has gone by since I started this vlog, but I did finish another book. I've been terrible about updating this, but I read Bright We Burn by Kiersten White, which completes the Conqueror saga for me. And can I just tell you guys something? This TBR jar thing is like doing it so well for me because I finished this series, and just the first book I ended up giving 5 stars. I really loved it. The second book, I think I gave it it was like a 3.54 star to me. And then this last book wrapped up this just perfectly. I was originally going to get 4 stars, but it's like stuck in my brain, and I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was brilliant. If you like, this is YA fantasy, but if you like political fantasy, regardless of that, it's YA, I think it's very well done. There are some love story elements to it, but the love stories aren't super bothersome to me. I like how it was portrayed. There is a love triangle in here for like the first couple books, and I liked how it was done, and it didn't take the forefront of the story. This is a gender bent Vlad the Impaler retelling. I absolutely positively loved it, and this is like one of my favorite YA fantasies of all time. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up this vlog. I'm super excited about my reading this month. I had 2 5-star reads, which was the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches and the Bright We Burn by Kiersten White, which completed the Conqueror saga. Alright guys, tune in for next week's vlog. I'll catch you guys later.